Hi, my name is Will Hesketh and this is Functional Yoga. As always, remember to make space so that you've got enough room to practice. Make time to practice, which means removing distractions so you're not sort of getting drawn away by other things. Be as playful as you possibly can, so just try and remind yourself that if you're taking it really seriously, you're tensing up, you're maybe fearing failure is the words I'm looking for there. Just try and let go of that if you can. It really doesn't matter. We're just moving our body in a way that feels nice. So that's the goal here. Be as grateful towards yourself as you can. So grateful for your body, your breath, your life. Be as compassionate towards yourself as you can. Don't beat yourself up. Goes back to not taking it too seriously, being playful. And then finally, just remember, you're amazing, you're alive, you're breathing. It's an incredible thing. Just try and remind yourself that whatever's going on in your life, you're still alive, you're still amazing. Today the focus is the neck. As always, we're going to be doing a bit of everything, just getting things moving. It's going to be focused around shoulders, upper back, that sort of stuff as well, because that's really helpful for the neck. We're going to be doing some seated stuff. Just remember, have some cushions nearby to make yourself comfortable. Even have a chair nearby. We want to be in a comfortable seated position when we're doing the seated stuff so that we can concentrate on what's going on in our body, in our neck, not be sort of sidetracked by just being uncomfortable in a seated position and just constantly trying to readjust to get comfortable. So as much as you can to make things comfortable. We're going to start on our backs, so whenever you're ready, bring yourself down, feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart, always worth checking that before you rest down. And if you feel like your chin is sky high while you're lying down because the back of your neck is tight, your upper back maybe is rounded, that sort of thing, maybe you might want a pillow behind your head or a cushion behind your head, but not for this first exercise because we're actually going to be lifting the head, so you won't need it. So if you interlace your fingers behind your head, and just breathe for a few moments, notice how things are feeling, even just being in this position. Squeeze the elbows together a little bit. Even just being in this position and doing some deep breaths can just be really nice and relaxing. Maybe just creep the hands up your mat a little bit, so that lengthens into the back of the neck subtly. Just noticing your breath, breathing gently. And just whenever you're ready with an exhale breath, see if you could very slowly lift your head off the mat. When you get to the point where you've gone as far as feels comfortable, take a big inhale. And then just imagine lowering each vertebra down. So upper back, just creeping your way up through the upper back. Imagine it all flattening out right the way up to the back of the neck. Highly unlikely that the back of the neck is going to touch down on the mat. I'd probably be asking some questions if it was, so just be really careful with that. But just imagine that's what you're trying to do, lengthen that back of the neck out. So whenever you're ready, exhale, gently lifting the head. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lower your way down and imagine just trying to lower each vertebra towards the mat from bottom to top, towards the skull as you come down. So remember, we're not trying to push them down towards the mat, we're just imagining if they could reach the mat, would they be doing it sequentially from bottom to top? That's what we're trying to get happening here. So exhaling as you lift, inhaling when you get there, exhale as you lower. Really nice, relax whenever you're ready. Bring the arms by the sides nice and comfortably. Take an inhale, have a little bit of an arch into your lower back. Exhale, gently tuck the lower back towards the floor. So it's that arch and tuck again. Inhale, arch the lower back. Exhale, tuck the lower back towards the floor. So you hopefully feel the weight rolling down on the back of the pelvis as you arch. Exhale, tuck. Weight rolls up on the back of the pelvis. Lower back probably pushes into the floor a little bit. We're just going to decompress the spine a little now. flexion, extension moving through. So grip your abdominal muscles with your exhale. So that's that tucking action, and then peel your way up through the spine from bottom to top, lifting your way up one vertebra at a time. Remember, you don't have to go too high, just as high as feels comfortable. Take a big inhale, and then just imagine placing each vertebra down as you come back down the spine without lifting the ones above up. So if you're quite rounded in your upper back, what you might find is as you're moving down the spine, you start to feel that your very top of your spine starts to lift as you lower towards the bottom of the spine. That's fine, don't worry about it or anything like that. Just know that we're getting things moving, and we're eventually going to get towards the point where that upper back can really start to get some movement into it. Don't rush to get there though, take your time, feel your way through it. So each time you stop, inhale and arch, exhale and tuck. Peel your way up through the spine, bottom to top. Big inhale, exhale, lower your way down the spine, top to bottom. Inhale, arch, exhale, tuck. Peel your way up with the inhale and lower your way down with the exhale. So synchronizing that breath with this really makes a big difference. Just starts to help us really get focused into what's happening. And it's the natural breath as well. So as you inhale, the arch is a really natural movement because the diaphragm moves down into the belly. As you exhale, diaphragm moves up, out of the way, so you can grip the abdominal muscles to get that tuck. Peel your way up through the spine, inhaling, and then exhaling, lowering your way down again, just maintaining that tuck, so just decompressing through. Whenever you're ready and you're finished on that one, just rest for a moment, walk the feet to the width of the mat, and then just very gently let the knees go a tiny little way to one side, bring them back to the center, let them go a tiny little way to the other side, bring them back to the center. Now exhale, move really slow. See where the legs go to without forcing. Make sure you feel nice and comfortable and decompressed in that spine, so you're not losing any of that feeling of decompression from that last exercise there. Just gliding your way through. Maybe start to take your head to the same side as the legs. See how that feels. And then maybe just leave the head behind as the legs go. So exhale, gently letting the knees go over while the head stays where it is. And then eventually take the head to join the legs, and then start with the legs again and gently take the head to join the legs. So you're just getting that side to side movement of the legs and the head, but the head is kind of following the legs. Legs go first, and then as you get that rotation, it starts to pull the head around gently. So just all the way through the spine, the neck, the hips, getting things moving. Remember, inhaling as you come through the center, exhaling as you take it to the other side. Really nice, just finding a nice rhythm that works for you. Don't worry if it's not the same one that I was doing or talking through. And relax whenever you're ready. Just take a few nice big breaths. Now, whenever you're ready, just reach the arms up in the air. Bring them above your chest a little, so above your face with the hands. Squeeze your forearms together gently. And then just very gently reach the forearms up and over your head, just a little way. Only as far as feels comfortable, so you might not go as far as I'm going, just feel really comfortable. Make sure you're pushing those elbows against each other gently, pushing those wrists against each other gently. And see if you could tuck the bottom of your rib cage down into your abdominal muscles. So think about pulling the bottom of your ribs down, almost like a little mini sit-up. Just using the abs subtly there. Nice and gently bringing the elbows back towards the waist, so drawing the elbows down. They're not going to go that far, but just see where you go to, and reaching back up slowly and gently. So just feeling your way into that action, keeping those elbows squeezing against each other, just kind of unlocking that thoracic spine is the way I always think of it. And then very gently, thoracic spine is upper back, by the way, sorry if I'm not explaining that well enough. Gently just letting the elbows go side to side. So really subtle, just letting those elbows go a little bit to the side and back to the center, a little bit to the side. Try and keep the body fairly still and just feel that little bit of movement there into that upper back. And then see if you could keep that side to side action going as you reach the hands a bit higher. So think about reaching up and back behind you, and then just having that little bit of side to side of the elbows. So it might start to become a bit of a sway when you get there, a bit of a lateral bend as opposed to a rotation. That's fine, that's what we're trying to do, just get a bit of lateral bend up into that upper back. Just breathing nice and slow and smooth. Gradually starting to work the elbows back down. Squeeze them down as far as you can. You might need to readjust to get out of the way of your chest, but just see how it feels for you. So then you might bring the arms down a little. And then just very gently relax. Straighten the legs out when you're ready. And straighten the arms out above the head, or just keep them bent if you've not got room, so that's what I'm doing here. And then we're just going to very gently have a little bit of a lateral bend. So just imagine you're trying to reach the sole of your foot to whatever is underneath it. So for me, I'm reaching towards this wall, this little step wall thing that's in front of me. And then same thing on the other side. So just really think about moving from the pelvis to start with. And then once you've got some movement happening in the pelvis, that lateral bend, see if you can start to bring some movement into the upper back by reaching the arm away. I always find to start yawning when I'm doing this. I'm not bored, it just happens. If that happens for you, then great. It feels really nice just to have a good yawn while you're doing this stretch. And whenever you're ready and you're feeling even on both sides, gradually just roll your way round onto your front. Just take your time. From resting on your front, we're going to try a little bit of a cobra position. Think about squeezing your abdominal muscles up, so tucking your belly button in towards your spine. Bottom of the ribs tucking down, and then think about all the ribs above your bottom rib, just lifting up and forwards. Gently. Now just check that you've not looked forwards. That's going to shorten the back of the neck. What we want to do is lengthen the back of the neck. So what we're doing here is flattening out the upper back and lengthening out the back of the neck, which is also flattening out the back of the neck. So we're flattening out the two curves. One curve rounds forwards, which is the upper back. That's why we're trying to lift the top of the ribs up and forwards, while we tuck the bottom of the ribs down and back. And then the other curve is the opposite way. So we want to be looking down towards the mat as we're doing this. Breathing into it, feeling your way through. Nice and gentle. See how it feels if you push your arms into the floor a little. See how it feels if you squeeze your hands towards each other a little. So you're not moving them, you're just squeezing and using that friction to get a wider shoulder position. Just feeling your way into each breath. Keeping that back of the neck long now. See if you could just very gently turn the head to one side without moving anything else. Very gently. Really feel for that length in the neck. Big inhale. And then exhale, turn your way to the other side. Nice and steady.
So keeping that upper back long, keeping those shoulders broad. Exhaling as you go, turning the head to one side. Inhaling when you get there, exhaling as you go, turning the head slowly to the other side. So really pay attention to what's happening in your abdominal muscles. Keep that scoop there. Pay attention to what's happening in the upper back. Tucking the bottom of the ribs down, lifting the top of the ribs up and forwards. Pay attention particularly to what's happening in the neck, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Really pay attention to that. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, gradually and slowly start to work your way back to an all fours position. So from your all fours position, we're just going to check that the knees are hip width, check that the feet are hip width. Just gently glide your way back as you exhale. Sit your bum back towards your heels, stretch out. Reach those hands up and forward, spread the fingers nice and wide. Let the head hang down and rest on the floor if it reaches. Don't worry if it doesn't, just be comfortable. Bringing your way slowly forwards and exhale, slowly gliding your way back. Inhaling, coming forwards, exhale, gently and slowly gliding backwards. Now you could stick with this, or if you want to, you could put the elbows down and you could try that little release we were doing earlier. Bring your elbows and your forearms together and your wrists together and just gently ease your way backwards. And bring your way forwards. Take it nice and steady. See if you could think about gripping the bottom of your ribs down, using your abdominal muscles. And you could hold if you wanted to. And just breathe. Make sure the back of the neck is long, so remember not looking forwards. Back of the neck nice and long. See if you could keep the front of the neck nice and long as well. I know that's going to be a tricky thing, but just remembering not to tuck the chin in too much. Whenever you're ready, gradually, slowly bring your way forwards. Walk your hands back. And then from here, just a little bit of side bending through the spine, nice and gently. Keep the back of that neck nice and long. Just gentle curves. Imagine how a snake would move on sand. And just see if you can imagine your spine moving a little bit like that. Don't worry if it's not. I'm pretty sure mine's not moving how a snake would move. But personally, I just find that that's a really nice way of visualizing it and getting things moving a bit more freely. And see if you can do the curves in the opposite way. Whenever you're ready, just relax and bring yourself slowly to a kneeling position. This is where you might want your cushion. I'm going to sit on this and come to a kneeling position. You might want to sit cross-legged, so there's no need to sit kneeling. You could sit on a chair, but just be as upright as you possibly can through the spine. So close the eyes if you're happy to do that. Sit up nice and tall. Sit bones drawing down onto whatever you're sitting onto. Using that force of the sit bones down on the floor, and imagine pushing up from that, lengthening out through the spine, broadening out across the shoulders. Imagine your head is light and it's just being lifted up. Maybe someone's just gently got hold of your head and just very gently lifting it up, lovingly, nicely lifting it up, not forcing it. Just a gentle visualization. That whole spine getting nice and tall. And whenever you're ready, we're just going to do very subtle, slow and gentle side to side movements of the head. Just exhale, slowly take the head over so ear comes towards the shoulder on one side, doesn't matter which. Bring it slowly back to the center. Exhale, slowly over to the side. Just feeling your way through. So as we were discussing at the start, we've removed distractions and we're just trying to be present with what we're doing. So try and really stay with it and feel your way into it. If you're happy to close the eyes, then that's a good way of feeling your way into it. Move with that breath. Remember not to take it too seriously. Keep it light-hearted, keep it playful, but keep it aware and compassionate. And just be grateful for whatever range of movement you have. Really just trying to slow it right down and visualize the movement happening, keeping that spine nice and tall. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, bringing it back to the center. Again, nice and tall through the spine, nice and broad across the shoulders. Exhale, gently take the head to one side. And maybe just open your eyes on this one and look as far round to the side as you can, without turning your shoulders, without turning your spine. Just sitting up nice and tall and just feeling that little bit of rotation into the neck. Big inhale and big exhale. So personally, as I breathe in deep here and I get wide across the shoulders and tall in the spine, I'm feeling a subtle stretch down the side of the neck. You may not, and don't worry if you don't. If you do, don't push into it too much, keep it really nice and mellow. Take a big inhale, bring it slowly back to the center, and very gently, same thing, just look into the other side, nice and tall through the spine. Broad across the shoulders. Gradually, slowly bringing it back to the center. And then as you exhale, just allow the chin to come towards the chest. So not trying to force the chin onto the chest, just taking it as far as feels comfortable. And then exhale, very gently lifting your way back up through the neck. Inhale when you get there, exhale, lowering your way down again. Inhale when you get there, exhale, lifting your way back up again. So you've got 7 vertebrae in your neck, 7 individual segments. Just imagine those segments moving very gently as you move through the neck. Relax whenever you're ready. Have a little shuffle around, shrug the shoulders up, and let the head very gently come to one side. Now, opposite shoulder lowers down as you exhale. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, change the head to the other side. Opposite shoulder lowers down away as you exhale. So it's the opposite shoulder that you're taking the head to. And you can start to do this as a continuous movement. So as you inhale, you shrug the shoulders up, bring the head back to the center. As you exhale, you take the head to one side and you lower the opposite shoulder. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, take it over. Gradually and slowly bringing your way back to the center in your own time. No rush, just finish off. Make sure you're feeling even on both sides. Next up, we make our way back to all fours. So take your time, make sure you've got space around you. And then we're going to just try a little bit of rolling of the shoulders. So it's 4 movements essentially, and we add them all together. The first movement is to lower the chest towards the floor without bending your arms. So that means you squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back of the body. And then we draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. And then we push up, parting the shoulder blades. And then we draw the shoulder blades up on the body. So then it starts to become a square. And then in time, as you start to feel your way through and it starts to get a bit more smoother and gentle, it might start to feel like it's becoming a circular movement through the shoulder girdle. Take your time. So it would be circular if you're looking at the side of the shoulder, so the camera angle as it's facing me now. Long, smooth breaths. Trying the same thing in the opposite direction whenever you're ready. You can always do this with the elbows down. It's a bit more tricky, but you can still do it. Or you can do it just from a kneeling or seated position, just with the arms off the floor if your wrists are getting a bit painful. Relax whenever you're ready and just gently take your left arm under your right arm and just creep it under a little bit. So rest the elbow down and just creep it as far as feels comfortable for you. So you might stay here, you might go a bit further and allow yourself to come down and rest down. But just make sure, as always, that it feels really comfortable. If you want to get your cushions back and just prop yourself up in this subtle, gentle rotation, you could do that. Just think about shifting your bum down and back. Just breathing in, feeling your way into that rotation, feeling the muscles relax, knots unlocking, long smooth breaths. Gradually and slowly starting to unwind. Bringing it back to all fours, taking the right arm onto the left arm now. Again, bring the elbow down, just get comfortable, shift the bum down and back. Reach through as far as feels comfortable. You don't need to go all the way through. You can always use cushions and things to prop yourself up if you want to. I always like to take this this supporting hand a bit wider and just gently push into it. Very subtle, gentle rotation of the spine. Just breathing your way into it, nice and steady. Make sure everything's feeling comfortable at the joints. Just breathing smooth and calm. Gradually, slowly starting to unwind. Bringing your way back. Elbows come down, shoulder width now, so not squeezing them together, keeping them shoulder width, wrist shoulder width, and then just gently exhale, move your way back and rest down. Again, you could use cushions under the head, under the chest, under the arms, wherever you feel like you need to feel good and comfortable. Back of the neck nice and long, shoulders nice and broad, spine nice and long. Now in your own time, gradually just bringing yourself onto your back. So we've got a nice long guided meditation to finish. Really try not to skip this bit if you can. This is the bit where things are going to start to feel really good. So, resting on your back, you might want a little pillow behind your head to allow the back of your neck to lengthen out. Don't go too far with it, otherwise it can kind of have the opposite effect and be uncomfortable. If you're not using a pillow, I'd suggest maybe just interlacing the fingers behind your head and then just imagine creeping your head up the mat or the floor, whatever you're resting the head on, and just using the hands to assist the back of the neck to lengthen. Relax the arms down by the sides, palms facing up, natural curve in the fingers. Straighten the legs out unless it feels uncomfortable to do so. Nice and symmetrical, so no crossed arms or legs. If you want cushions behind the legs or you want to rest the legs up on something, then go ahead. Nice and comfortable. Just noticing your breath as it happens. Feeling your belly move. Feeling your chest and your ribs move. Feeling your shoulders move. Noticing how the neck is. Just being with each moment as it happens. Bringing your awareness to your neck, your shoulders, all around the front of your chest. Letting everything relax into the floor, letting gravity push down on you, decompressing the spine, decompressing the neck. With each breath, just noticing how your body moves. Maybe bringing some visualization in, just imagine taking in what you need, filling your body up. And with the exhale, just letting go of anything you don't need, any tension, stress, anything that just isn't feeling right, isn't sitting right with you, just let it go. Inhale, refresh and renew. Exhale, let go. Just very gently let the head lean over to one side. And just let it rest there for a few moments. Very slowly, gently, starting to move the head back to the center, don't rush it. And then very slowly and gently, rotating that head to the other side and just letting it be there again. Just let it roll over and sit there. Gradually working your way back to the center. In your own time, just starting to have a little move around in a way that feels good for you. You might start with the face, the fingers, the toes, the hands, the feet. Smallest things you can, just moving as small as you can to start with. And gradually start to get a bit bigger with the movement as you notice more and more. Maybe have a little stretch out, a little roll around. Gradually, slowly, starting to work your way back to a seated position. Grab those cushions back if you need them. Letting the chin relax down towards the chest one last time. Then with the inhale, very gently and gradually starting to open the eyes and starting to lift your way back through the neck. Again, imagine each vertebra just stacking on top of the one below it as you go. And we'll finish there. Thanks very much for joining in. Take care.